that I say are white privilege, because when you look inside where these universities are, who's leading those schools, right? Who's leading the departments that do public school systems. And so I think having these specific conversations really starts to bring to people's awareness that, hey, wait a minute, I didn't see that. And to your point, Doc, that becomes an opportunity to identify you didn't see it because you have it.
Those are all excellent points. And one thing that really, as both you guys are talking about this, what really strikes me as a lower elementary principal, kindergarten, first and second grade, is this first line in this quote, how white children develop a sense of white superiority as early as preschool. And I think historically and traditionally, teachers at lower levels are afraid to have those explicit conversations about race and racism. I think that they might fear that the kids are young and they want to shelter them from those conversations. And so what would you say to those educators that have that fear of having those conversations?
You know, I think they don't necessarily have to have the conversation, to be honest with you, Scott. I think they can do it by demonstrating. So you got a really great teacher in your school, Miss Loeffler, and congratulations, we found out that she is expecting. So we are excited for her and her family growing. But what she did was always made it, you know, the invitation open for me to come into the class, not only to support Micaiah, but as she did activities with the class, for me to be able to come in and support other students. So other kids start to see some regularity of an African-American man to come in, and now they have these positive experiences that they can look at as they move forward. So I think just being intentional about the inclusivity of the families and really encouraging them to participate, especially if you see they aren't participating, right? So what then might be happening where they don't feel comfortable coming in to participate with their kids, and what can you do to encourage that and to get them to feel very comfortable in doing so?
That's really powerful stuff right there. And I hope every teacher tuned in to hear what you just had to say there, because that's powerful. That creating that environment for families to want to come in and provide those role models and encouraging and including families, huge, absolutely huge. So thank you for sharing that. Dr. Hill, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that's exactly, as we're on our journey to increase diversity within our teaching staff, we need to be invitational and get more families in, and families of color, and especially African-American dads into the schools to be visible, to be role models, to demonstrate that you know, we're an inclusive district and everybody has qualities and can offer opportunities for students.
And I know Sonia James over at Chico has the Watchdogs, the dad's program, the Watchdogs program over there. And you can find at any given moment 10 or 12 dads in that building supporting kids on the playground. And obviously not right now at this point in time, but when school is live, pretty powerful stuff. And I would love to see that scaled across our elementary schools. I think there's a lot of power in that.
That's a really good idea.
Yep.
And we've talked about this a little bit already, and maybe this is just an opportunity to close the loop on it. It's just the idea of staff diversity and how do we specifically make good on this commitment. I think the quote here from Ibram Kendi is very powerful, where he was in his third grade class, which was mostly made up of Black kids, a handful of Asian and Latino kids, and 3 white kids that kept to themselves. And he sat next in the back of the room where he could see everything, and he could often see when white teachers overlooked the raised non-white hands and then called them the white hands. And he could see when the teacher punished the non-white students for something that she didn't punish the white students for. And so not only is this this quote about diversity in staff, but also just about those, some people call them microaggressions, some people just call them racist acts. It raises the question of how staff diversity and staff awareness of the actions they take in the classroom are important. So I'm just wondering, any comments about that as we close the loop here?
I think what it points out to me is that it's policy, because